Welcome back, government students. I hope everyone is doing well. We're going to be picking up on our work in Unit 2, which is focusing on politics in America. And we're really going to be building on the base of what we looked at yesterday, which was the two-party system in America. You also looked into kind of the platform of a third party. And today we're really going to be digging into where your beliefs and views on government and politics lie. Okay, so we're trying to figure out where on this political spectrum in America do you currently fall based on a series of questions found in an online quiz. So we'll look at the assignment first, and you'll see that the aim states, how can we use an online quiz to determine our political leanings on the political spectrum? And this term is something that is new for us, a political spectrum. And I'm going to show you the political spectrum to understand what this reference is and how it kind of displays the political ideas found in American society. So for the do now, you think about the why do political parties exist, and then what are the two major political parties in the United States. And this is all just a review from Tuesday. Okay, so use the assignment from yesterday if you need help. All right, we took some notes on the purpose and function of political parties, and we also identified what those two major parties are. Okay, so you can pause this, complete your do now, and then come back and I will walk you through some of the instructions for completing your political spectrum quiz. All right, so we have some definitions to help us out for our activity today. And the first thing we want to define is what a political spectrum is. All right, and a political spectrum is a system of classifying different political positions upon an axis. All right, so we will look at one in a moment, but it displays a lot of the political positions, political beliefs and ideologies, and it's displayed on an axis to show which ideas are close to one another and which ideas are furthest from one another. Most of the spectrums we look at include a left wing and a right wing. All right, and this comes from the seating arrangements in the French Parliament. Okay, so there was considered a left wing of the Parliament, which was seen as more liberal, and then there's a right wing of Parliament, which was seen as more conservative, and those terms have become used in discussing political spectrums in modern times as well. Okay, so before we get into the different categories, I want to show you what this looks like. So we see down here that this is the political spectrum in America, and we have the center being in the center. All right. As we move more right, you see that we hit what are known as conservatives. Okay. And conservatives are considered more right-leaning based on this spectrum. If you go even further past conservatives in terms of the right-leaning ideas, you have authoritarianism, and then you'll arrive all the way at fascism. And as you can see, this path leads eventually to controlling of society. So a lot of the far-right ideas are seen as strategies to control society. If we move to the left of the spectrum, we'll first hit liberal. All right, and liberals are seen as left-leaning. All right, if you go even past liberals, you hit socialist and then communist, and you'll see that this movement left is an encouragement, of total equality in society. So where people fall along this spectrum can tell you what their political ideologies and political beliefs are. So as we go back to our instructions, you'll see that we now have a definition of liberals. Right? They generally believe the government action to achieve equal opportunity and equality for all, and that it is the duty of the government to reduce community issues, protect civil liberties, and protect human rights. And most commonly in America, this is seen as the Democratic platform. The Democratic Party is much more liberal, and they believe in these kind of roles of government. On the flip side, we have conservatives, all right, on the right side of the spectrum. And they believe in personal responsibility, limited government, free markets, individual liberty, traditional values, and a strong national defense. Right? And once again, this is the major kind of platform for the Republican Party. Okay, and they try to shrink the government. They want individuals to have more power, to have more say, and they really want to try to take government out of people's lives. That's more of a conservative view of government. Then you have moderates, and these are the people who are in the middle. Okay, so the moderates is a category which designates rejection of radical or extreme views, and it's someone who kind of takes up a central position. So they might believe in some ideas from the left side, they might believe in some ideas from the right side, but they have more of a central position on the spectrum. Okay? So before we get to the actual activity, you're going to now think about, where do your views align? Where do you think you fall on this spectrum? Okay, so do you feel like you are a liberal? Do you feel like you're conservative? Or do you feel like you're moderate before we do this quiz? Okay, so now coming back, we're going to actually use this link. So the link that's provided there is what we're going to be using, and it's a quiz. Okay, and I'm going to pull up the link itself. So this is what should pull up, and you're just going to click next. And this will actually start the quiz for you. So you'll see there's 17 total questions. Okay, and you are going to be answering just by selecting one of the two statements. And I know some of these statements are tough because you might feel like you're in the middle, but you have to choose one of the statements. Choose the statement that more aligns with your views. Once you are done, okay, you will get a readout page. Okay, and that readout page will be where you actually answer the analysis questions. Okay, so once you're done, you're going to use the readout page to answer the analysis questions. All right, do not just finish the quiz and close the browser. You need the readout page to help you respond to these questions in the analysis. All right, before you finish up, all right, this question right here, this last question on the second page, links directly with what you came up with in your thinking question after the definitions. Okay, so maybe you said you were liberal in that thinking question. Did your results actually match up with what you thought you were? What was surprising? Okay, and this is once again trying to discover where we fall, where we stand currently with our political ideologies. Right, so if you have any questions or concerns, you can always reach out to me. If you run into any problems using the website, please let me know. We will continue our Zoom office hours on Thursday because today I do have live instruction. All right, so I hope everyone is doing well, and I will talk with you soon.